Welcome to the Average Nobody's Podcast, the ultimate home for wrestling enthusiasts, beer drinkers, movie quoters, and pop culture connoisseurs. Here are your hosts, Matt and Ryan.
Hello and welcome to the Average Nobody's Podcast, number 57 for November 30th, 2017. On today's show, we're chatting about Matt Lauer, Applebees' latest death wish, in episode 8.6 of The Walking Dead, titled The King, the Widow, and Rick. You can chat with us on Twitter at Average Nobodies, toss us a like on Facebook at Average Nobodies, and heart all of our pictures on Instagram. Again, it's at Average Nobodies. Don't forget, this podcast is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and YouTube. My name is Matt, and here with me as always is
Ryan.
Hello, Ryan. I have to say, this week's episode of The Walking Dead, not a clever title.
No.
The King, the Widow, and Rick. It doesn't even roll off the tongue.
No, I don't know. I mean, I think they were doing so well with them, and then
Yeah.
I don't know what they were. I mean, I understand like the foreshadowing or significance or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's like they could have phrased it a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Well,
what's going on?
I don't necessarily have a people watching story,
Okay.
but I have a story from a couple hours ago.
Okay.
So
Hit me.
I had to go to Home Depot after work. I had to get a couple things there. So Holly wanted like a tension rod for above the sink in our kitchen.
Yeah.
It took me like 15 minutes to finally find where they had those things. I ended up getting the wrong thing anyway, but it took me like 15 minutes to find it. I'm walking around now. Meanwhile, I'm wearing a dark blue North Face jacket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you've been to Home Depot before, right?
Yes.
Do the workers of Home Depot wear anything resembling a dark blue North Face jacket?
I believe they wear bright orange, in fact.
They do.
Yeah.
It's true with name tags. You know, you can. Of all the stores I've been in, I would say it's the hardest to not like make the difference between a customer and an employee.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around and I lock eyes with this guy. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. He goes, hey, do you work here? I was like, I'm working. I go, no. He goes, yeah, you're not wearing their uniform. I'm like, no, yep, I don't work here. And then he just walks away. Like,
Dead giveaway.
yeah, like that's usually a good sign that someone doesn't work there when they're not wearing the uniform.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that Home Depot, you can't go in there for 2 minutes.
Yeah, no. I've gotten to the point, I go to the Lowe's that's on Mill Spring Avenue. I go to that Lowe's if I need anything for my house because I've been in there so many goddamn times that I know exactly where everything is now. I probably could be hired as manager tomorrow and be able to do fine. But only because that Lowe's, I know the exact layout. If they changed everything, I'd be screwed. If they changed anything, I'd be screwed. But when I go into any other Lowe's or any other Home Depot, I'm lost. There's nothing there. And honestly, I want to be nicer, but the people who work at Lowe's and Home Depot do not know anything. They never help me. Never once have I been helped by an employee at Lowe's or Home Depot. Never.
Some guy sent me to the wrong aisle today.
Yeah, that's what happens. I'm pretty sure that they just and I will admit, when I used to work at Stop and Shop and I didn't know what aisle something was in, I would just send someone to a random aisle. I'm not gonna lie. So there's probably a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not. I listen. I wasn't a great employee at Stop and Shop. I'm not trying to call myself. I'm not pot calling the kettle black here. I was also not a good employee. But it's just like you need to be helpful, I guess sometimes. I had a similar situation last week. I went to Newbury Comics to get some new comics, and I'm waiting in line, and this guy comes up to me, and I'm not sure if this guy thought I worked there or if he just wanted to ask me this question. But he saw this Batmobile at the top shelf behind the counter, like the pay counter, and he's like, "How much is that Batmobile?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know," and because I couldn't tell if he was asking me because he thought I was my employer, or if he was just trying to be friendly. You know what I mean? Asking me how much I thought it was. I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "What Batmobile is that from? Like what movie?" And I'm like, "Oh, sir, I don't work here." He goes, "Oh. But how much do you think it is?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm going to say $50. He goes, $50? You really think so? I'm like, "Listen, guy, I'm not getting into this with you. I'm not, this is not the hill I want to die on. I'm just, if you want to ask me, that's what I thought. If you don't fight me on it, right? You asked my opinion. That's what I thought.
You really think $50? Like, all right, come on. We're not doing this.
So I usually go by myself. This one time was last week when I was off of work. And guess who I brought with me? Guess one of our friends that came with us where crazy things would start happening.
Derek.
Yep. Derek was with us. So there you go.
Of course.
So there you go. He attracts it.
I think he does. I think people like sense his presence, and they're like, all right, let's just get weird.
let's get crazy. Speaking of like getting crazy, Matt Lauer, the newest, what do we want to call these people? They're not victims. The newest domino to fall. It's like that's it's
newest sexual predator.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like there's really no other way to say it.
Yeah. It's not good. For them to fire Matt Lauer, it must be really not good because it's always a thing where like when the allegations come out and the person's already fired, that's just the tippity top of the iceberg. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot more coming out right now. And I'm sure Matt Lauer's people are trying desperately to keep this keep under wraps. Like they're trying to pay off people right now, everything.
Though they came up, I guess Variety had like an article with at least like 10 former employees, former and current employees that are staying anonymous for now, just in case.
Right.
And it sucks because it's still like the biggest thing with all these people, all of the things that these people have in common, whether it's like Louis C.K., Kevin Spacey, Weinstein, it's like power. Like they're holding power over people, and that's how they're getting away with this stuff for so long. It's just so disgusting.
Yeah.
And I mean, he gets paid $25 million a year.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh, wow.
I honestly thought it was going to be more. That's crazy.
And I mean, like you said, for them to do it now, like he's usually their main Olympics guy.
Yeah.
Like one of, and the Olympics are coming up soon, and NBC's the host.
Yep.
And some of the reports that came out, but it's not that like I'm desensitized to it, but it's just like the same shit over and over. Like these people are just monsters.
Yeah.
Like they'll just like. Did you read the one where he had a button installed under his desk?
I did. Yes.
Don't you think that's a red flag? Like that's what a supervillain, like some type of villain would do. I need a button that closes and locks my door. What? What do you mean?
Ron Swanson has that, but to keep people out of his office.
Right, he'll close it before you get in.
Yeah, not to keep people in. I was talking about that last night with Tom, and we were like saying like, who installed that button? Like, who do you call to have that installed? And how do they not be like, maybe I shouldn't be installing this? But then again, it's like if he's getting paid $24 million a year, like, and he's was very well respected at NBC, like, I'm pretty sure he could do whatever the fuck he wants, which inherently is where a lot of these problems come from.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, having the power to do whatever you want, you having all the power, and and preying on people who are trying to, whatever. You know what I mean? Like just like you were saying, like people in power trying to assert their dominance over people not in power.
And I think I would like the Variety article I was reading is really one of the main reasons this even came out is that like one of his bookers. Like, I don't know what a booker is in, like, Hollywood term. Is that, like, someone who, like, books you for gigs or something?
Yeah, it must be, like, a manager type thing. You know what I mean?
So,
like, yeah.
He got fired for sexual harassment.
Oh.
And, like, I guess, like, Lauer helped that guy get, like, some type of executive position at NBC. He got fired. So that guy was probably covering Lauer because he was even higher than him.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't cost you a cent to just be a decent person.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I'll never for the life of me get it. And I mean, this is just going to keep happening. Like, obviously all these people are awful, terrible people. And like, I never looked at Matt Lauer one way or the other, but I wouldn't have looked at him and been like, maybe that guy's a sexual predator.
Yeah. Where in the world is Matt Lauer? Like I would never have thought that he would be.
No, he's just there. Like he was just there, but
fun fact. Do you know what his first news assignment was?
I do not.
It was to cover like the anniversary of Yacht Club sodas in North Providence, Rhode Island.
Really?
Yes. there's old archival footage of him. It's like one of his first like outside of the studio like assignments, and he's like out in front of Yacht Club Soda like filming a section for the news.
Huh.
Pretty funny, right? All the
It
perverts coming from North Providence. That's what it is.
You know, he probably like learned the tricks of the trade here.
So yeah, it's just a funny. Well, because the reason why I know that is because Joe, a friend of mine, Joe and Mark, you know Joe and Mark, we had talked about doing a documentary on Yacht Club Soda because it has like such storied history, and one of the things we wanted to include on it was that Matt Lauer did his report there, and I texted them the other day when all this broke, and I was like, hey guys, we might have to rethink the documentary on this one. I don't think it's really gonna sell that Matt Lauer is in it. I don't think that's
Matt Lauer. Ooh, what terrible time.
Yeah. So Matt Lauer, next domino to fall. Honestly, at this point, we should stop doing death pools. We should start doing pervert pools and see who we think is going to be the next fucking disgusting human being to come out.
You know who's coming next? And you heard it here first. And it's probably not that much of a secret to some people. Mike Tirico.
You know what? That's a very good call, and I could definitely see that. Definitely not a huge leap, but it would definitely be shocking.
I've read a lot of like stuff, you know, and who knows what's true and what's not on the internet, but I don't know. I think he's the next to fall. Like, there's a reason why, like, they didn't give him the main, like, on ESPN, he just does like really these little quick things for Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
And Sean McDonough does the main broadcast. Like, I don't know. He was like a big time announcer for a while, and then they kind of scaled him back.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if something comes out about him and he's done. So, I mean, he's not a big Hollywood name, but in sports world, he's like one of the main guys.
I gotta be honest. I'm surprised that there's not more already like happening like in ESPN like this.
Yeah.
Like nothing really, right? Is there anybody that has been like brought to light? No one really, right?
From ESPN. Not really. They're firing. I mean, they're laying off a lot of people, but not because of this.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I don't know. It's too bad. You know what's not too bad, or maybe it is. Applebee's is offering $1 Long Island iced teas all December, the entire month of December. You can go to Applebee's and get a $1 Long Island iced tea.
That's a dangerous move.
It's what the fuck are they thinking? What are they doing? That's a risky move.
And you know what? I have an Applebee's close to my house. I've seen the people that go to Applebee's.
Yeah. I'm gonna start going to Applebee's more now. I love Long Island iced teas. One of the main reasons why I don't get them, well, one of the main reasons I don't get them is because they're so expensive. They're usually like an $8 or $9 drink. I don't need that, and also I don't need to get hammered off of one drink.
Well, we have a couple Long Island iced tea stories.
yeah. The Fours is my favorite.
Fours is a good.
What pay-per-view were we going to see? We were going to see a wrestling pay-per-view in Boston at the TD Garden, and right outside the TD Garden, for those of you who don't know the Boston area that well, is this really good restaurant called the Fours. It's a bar restaurant. It's a couple
Food's
levels.
Really good, though.
Yeah, the food is really good, and so it's a hot spot before like Bruins games, Celtics games, and any events that's happening at the Garden. But they have a killer Long Island iced tea, and it goes down very smooth. And it's $12. It's a $12 Long Island iced tea. It's one of the more expensive iced teas. And all I remember is when the waitress came to us to split up the checks, she wanted to know, or to tally up the checks, she wanted to know how many each of us got. And there was wasn't it like $150 just in Long Island iced teas?
Yeah, there was something like 30 something Long Island iced teas. Like for like 7 people.
Yeah.
I think oh no, maybe like 10 people were there, but not everyone was having them. But yeah, we got something like maybe 25 or 30 Long Island iced teas.
It was something very aggressive. And when she was going around the table asking how many he had, I was like, I had 4. And she repeated, she goes, you had 4? 4 long? Like in disbelief that we were still awake and sitting at the table.
And we were like very I mean, a couple hours later, probably not
so.
But at that time, it hadn't hit us yet, and we were just like, "Hey, this had 4 Long Island iced teas." She's like, "Oh," like she almost looks like, "Oh no, I shouldn't I can't do this. Like this has to be against the law.
I wonder if she knew what she was doing, like serving us all like 4 Long Island iced teas. That's definitely not a tip certification move right there. That's
Absolutely.
definitely over-serving. In the amount of time we were there, it's absolutely over-serving.
We were there for about an hour and a half.
Oh my God, 4 Long Island iced teas. I haven't had them recently because they kind of make in my old age now. They kind of make my stomach upset. I kind of get like heartburn.
It's too
from
much. Them. It's too much stuff. Like you don't need. You really, if you think about it, you do not need vodka, gin, rum, and tequila in the same drink.
No.
And then what? And how it gets you is sour mix. Like you could put gasoline and mix sour mix, and it would taste like sour mix.
Yeah, it would taste delicious. I would have a few of those drinks. Are there any limitations to this?
So I'm on the Applebees website. So it's only at participating Applebees, and they're gonna have like a sub site. It's applebees.com/$teas TEAS.
Yep.
So, but it's not like a up and running website until tomorrow.
Okay.
So if you go to that website, which I don't understand, it's like what? But if you go to that website, it'll have all the participating Applebees, or you can just go into your local Applebees and be like, yeah, I want $1 iced tea. But it doesn't like the press release does not have any limit. There's no like you can only have this. There's no limitation, so it's up to the server apparently. And once again, I live right near an Applebee's. I've been there a lot of times. They're not showing a lot of discretion.
No,
like they're there for their tips. I swore off Applebee's for a while, and then I came to my senses. It was my own fault. But I'm going to Applebee's, especially with $1 Long Island's. If it's the one near my house, I'm going to be there quite often.
If it is the one near your house, we should all do dinner there one night and see if we can for science we'll investigate the $1 Long Island iced tea.
Yeah. See what see if we can get our money's worth.
Yeah, I think we will. I think we
will too.
Oh, it's gonna be such a bad decision by Applebee's. What are you doing?
I guess, which I didn't know, they had dollar margaritas all October.
See now, I mean that's awesome. Dollar margaritas are awesome, but that's like I could see that's a normal thing. Like,
because you can pre-mix it, you can like Chili's pre-mixes theirs. Like you can handle that.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you handle $1 Long Island iced tea.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Unless they're really taking liberties with the name Long Island iced tea. You know what I mean? And they're not actually making it with the 4 different booze and the sour mix and Coke or whatever it is.
Yeah, but but in the press release it says the fan favorite cocktail is made with a delicious new mix of vodka, rum, gin, tequila, triple sec, and sweet and sour mix. So like they're going all the way.
All right, that's it. That's the end of it. Now we know. Oh God, what idiots!
Oh man, I can't wait. I'm very excited.
Oh, that's funny. Next up.
Before we get into TV Club, exciting news today.
Yes.
On the TV front. I know we reviewed this in episode 53. One of our favorite TV shows, Mindhunter, Netflix original with Jonathan Groff and Holt I can't pronounce his last name, McCallie or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Got renewed for season 2.
Excellent.
So no new news besides that. If you go on the official Mindhunter Twitter account, they did a cool little teaser that basically just said like they have more story to tell, more stuff to investigate. In the way season 1 ended, it kind of made sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of story left to tell, but it's always nice to get that official confirmation.
Question: is Jonathan Groff going to turn into a serial killer?
When they showed the trailer, I remember watching the trailer with Holly for season 1. And I had said it reminded the trailer and the way they were just like the certain sound bites they were using reminded me of a SVU episode where Mariska Hargitay's character has like this cop from a different precinct in a different state and they're hunting this serial killer. Mm-hmm. And this guy's like particularly brutal and does these really awful things. And the cop from the other precinct kind of loses her mind during the hunt for him and she ends up killing him.
Oh.
Like, instead of arresting him. And the quote that they use is, when you're hunting monsters, be careful you don't become one yourself.
Oh.
And that's when I'm watching the trailer for Mindhunter, I'm like, one of these guys, they're going to spend so much time hunting monsters, they're going to kind of lose themselves. And, I mean, at the end of season 1, he doesn't have much left. Like, he lost his girl. He's lost his sanity.
Yep.
So he's not that far off. I don't know.
His only friend is Ed Kemper.
Right, which I don't know if I want that guy.
Holt, the other character, his partner, Holt, whatever you said his name was, he's actually in the opening scene of Justice League. Yeah, he's like a cat burglar.
Oh.
And like Batman ties him up.
Like actual cats?
Yes, he steals cats. No, he's like, you see him like the opening shot, and it's not a spoiler for anybody, so nobody freak out here. He's like on a rooftop, like climbing out of someone's window with like a bag of like, jewelry and shit, and like Batman ties him up and like beats him up. So yeah. So
interesting.
Maybe
I love that. He's great.
Maybe he goes off the rails and becomes a cat burglar, and he actually steals cats.
No, that's something I'm interested in.
Yes, Mindhunter season 2. What happened? is the tagline.
Writing staff? I don't.
So, actually, before we get into Movie Club, the TV club, something else happened today in a show that we both love. American Gods lost its showrunners.
What?
Yeah. If you look, I'm just remembering this because at lunch today I just happened to scan across the news thing, but yeah, the showrunners they're either leaving or they were removed or something from American Gods. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up quick.
Because like Brian Fuller was one of the main guys.
Yeah.
Brian Fuller.
What'd you say? Sorry, Ron, you broke up. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, Brian Fuller and Michael Green.
Yeah,
they were the two showrunners. They left due to clashes with their production company over budget and creative direction.
Damn, that sucks.
That sucks.
Yep, that really
because that had such a specific tone and just like the way it was filmed.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed because if it changes, really, if it changes, I don't know. Like without these guys, the show's gonna be different. And I don't like that because I liked it exactly how it was. I thought it was great. I wouldn't have changed anything from season 1.
No.
Which sucks. So that's a development. So I don't know. We'll see. And I know they confirmed a season 2, but
they did.
But I don't know. I don't know any of the details outside that. So not great, but we'll still be excited for when it comes out. I mean, I'm still looking forward to it.
Hopefully they'll find someone will be a worthy replacement.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, TV Club, Walking Dead. Oh, hold on. Actually, sorry. 1 second. Did you watch anything over the past week that you want to talk about?
Well, I watched Jim and Andy.
Right. I figured we want to talk quick about that because that's what I watched as well.
I know you guys reviewed it on Make Movies Great Again, and It was a wonderful episode. So whoever hasn't checked that out yet, that was last night, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Make sure you go check that out, the Make Movies Great Again podcast.
Yes.
But yeah, I wrote a little blog post for Average Nobodies, written word blog, one of the only written word blogs still in existence.
Yes.
True. No, but I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan. I never obviously saw Andy Kaufman perform, not live, but when he was still alive. But Jim Carrey always had that mischievous part to him, he was funny and he was this and that, but I mean, his best roles like Truman Show, Man on the Moon, which was the Andy Kaufman story, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, he has that kind of mischievous sadness to him.
Yeah. That
I thought it was a very revealing interview. The way they filmed it was really cool. And I was going in, I wasn't sure if I was not gonna really like his present day interview as much as because behind the scenes footage of movies is just always so cool.
Yeah.
Especially when he was so insanely in character.
Yep.
But one of the things that stuck with me was when he was talking about his dad, he kind of talked about why he went into comedy and why he went to show business. And he was saying how his dad was this really talented saxophone player and this really funny guy, but instead of following his dream or trying to, feed into his gift as far as music or comedy goes, he started a family, had children, and became like a tax accountant or something like that.
Yeah.
And then his dad got fired from his job, and he's like, it just like broke his dad apart. And Jim Carrey talks about seeing like, if you can fail doing something you don't even like, you know, how much worse that is than failing at least if you fail at your dream or something you love.
Yeah.
You can still kind of recover and do something, but like failing when you compromise.
Yep.
So I thought that was a very, not cool, but just a really insightful comment from him. He's pretty out there.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it, again, is a performance.
Yeah, I think so too. We were talking last night on the Make Movies Great Again podcast. We were talking about how Sean brought up the fact that the people who can get like very depressed and like in their own minds are often the people who are also like at certain points in their lives like very happy and very like zany and super outgoing. It's like the door swings both ways. It's like
extreme highs
and extreme lows. And if you have that type of personality, you're more prone to like more like, you know, heavy depression like that. It's like prime example is Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Robin Williams in that case. And so it was interesting to hear from Jim Carrey, like very frankly, I felt he was very frank in the interview. He's very honest. I think he's definitely out there, but I followed what he was saying. He wasn't out there to the point where like, oh, this, you know, what the fuck is he talking about? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like I actually understood where he was coming from. For him to have his breakout year was it 93 or 94 when Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, crazy. Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and Ace Ventura came out all in the same year. That's unbelievable. It's like when you think of Jim Carrey movies, you probably name those three movies.
Yeah.
Like, and they came out all in the same year to like blast his career into the stratosphere. And then he talks about how when he selected roles, a lot of times the movies that he picked or were in mimicked, you know, his life at that moment. So the Truman Show, it's like he felt like he was like in the spotlight all the time, and you know, obviously that's very like a 1-to-1 comparison to what the Truman Show is. And things like that. So I thought that was really good. I really liked that. And also there was a lot of like, it really like hit deep with me in the movie, like him talking about like after playing Andy, he's like, what was there? I didn't know what was left of Jim. Like, cause I was Andy and Tony Clifton for so long. And then he's like, he realizes like, it's everything. It's like, everything's on the other side of that. It's like, and that was just so fascinating. And like, it just hit me in a certain way. He was like almost performing the you know, I mean, the interview. Like, I don't know what it was, but he was like, I don't know, very inspiring to a point.
Yeah. And you could tell like how much, you know, he really like wanted to play Andy Kaufman, and like he kind of, even though he explains it as, what did he explain it as? Like he was speaking telepathically with the bird or something.
Yes, yeah.
He's sitting in Malibu, but like he knew, you know, that was his way of saying, I knew if I'm going to play this guy, I have to be this guy. Like I can't turn it on and off when the camera's on and off.
Yeah.
And I think like when he became him, so to speak, he really like relished that freedom, because, you know, he probably had some of that freedom coming up as a stand-up. He probably had that freedom even in Living Color.
Yeah.
But once you make a Hollywood movie, not him anymore. And you know, you are what they say you are.
Yeah.
And you know, for however many days or weeks or months it took to film Man on the Moon, he wasn't that guy anymore. And I think that was like a big thing for him.
Yeah.
And you know, at the end he talks about like, I didn't want to go back to being me again, because being Andy was just so like, you know,
freeing. Yeah.
And he just had so, you know, the creativity to kind of experiment and do this and that. The Jerry Lawler stuff was really cool.
It's really cool. Yeah, that was really funny too.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. I love the scene. My favorite part was when how they were talking about how Andy and his buddy Bobby, that guy Bobby, they would always like, Bob Zamunda. They would always swap Tony Clifton. Like he would be Tony Clifton and go out to places and be Tony Clifton, but people think it was Andy Kaufman. And then Jim Carrey did that with Bob at the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jim Carrey shows up. I thought that was fucking. Oh, that was hilarious.
That was so good.
Yeah, so good. But yeah, it was really great. I'm probably gonna watch it again. Honestly, I just thought that a lot of the stuff that Jim Carrey said was really fascinating, and I think I missed a lot of it. Like, trying to, figure out what he's trying to say and like how, what he means. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny to see the behind the scenes with like Danny DeVito and Paul Giamatti and all those guys.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It was awesome. I mean, if you have a Netflix account, you deserve, go out of your way to watch it. It's like an hour 40 minutes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Documentary. Really, really cool.
Yep.
I watched. I think you'd like it. It's actually an episodic series on Netflix. It's called Shot in the Dark.
I never heard of it.
It follows like 3 different like teams of people who live in like the Los Angeles area, and all they do is drive around with like, they have like police scanners and laptops and shit in their car, and they just go around looking for like car accidents, fires, like all this crazy stuff, and they sell this footage to news stations.
Wait, so is it like the true story of Nightcrawler?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh shit,
It's
that's
insane.
crazy.
I watched one episode. It's crazy.
Okay.
Like I don't know if this all happened in one night. Like the way they edited it made it seem like it, but you had like, which actually it probably is, like, because they showed on the map just like how enormous California is.
Yeah.
And they really focus on like the downtown area, Hollywood, and then Los Angeles. So they kind of try to stay, because they drive around everywhere.
Yeah.
So you can only do so much. But in one night they saw, it was like this woman was like got a DUI. So what the guy would do is he would like get the call over the radio, and he would like zoom out to be like a quarter of a mile ahead of her, pull over to the side of the road, like on the highway, in like the breakdown, not the breakdown lane, but like the right lane, the right side lane, get out of his car, get his camera out, and film, waiting for the car to pass by.
Yeah.
Because he said like that's one of the shots that the news stations want.
Yeah.
And then then the cops would fly by, then he'd have to go catch up with them and catch the arrest.
Oh shit. That's crazy.
It was crazy. Oh, it was insane. And then there was one where like a city bus was on fire, and they were saying they use like compressed natural gas for fuel for the city buses. And so like as it's engulfed in flames, it's just like blowing up everywhere.
Shit. So how much do news stations pay for these shots?
So that's the thing I wanted to look up. They don't say. They call it hits.
Yeah.
So like you'll get like they'll send all the footage to the news station. Like they literally do it right from their car.
Yeah.
And then the news station will come back and say, we'll take this piece. They won't might not take the whole thing. But according to the guy, like if you have like a good night, he's like, I pay my rent.
Wow.
In one night, if it's like a busy night, if I get the right stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I would definitely check that out. That sounds right up my alley.
It's really cool. I would definitely. It's called Shot in the Dark, and it's episodes too. It's not like a big long thing. They're like 30, 40-minute episodes.
Oh, cool. Awesome. I'm definitely checking that out. Excellent. All right. You want to talk about Walking Dead?
Yes, sir.
All right. 8.6. The King, the Widow, and Rick. Not a great title.
Not the best.
What'd you think about the episode?
It was a little bit of a letdown from the last ones.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I like this formula where they kind of did a little bit of everything.
Yep.
I think we talked about it before. 99% of the time when they more spotlight-ish episodes, it just doesn't work. There's too many storylines, there's too many characters happening. It'd be like if Game of Thrones just did like a Jon Snow episode.
Right.
Yeah, he's a cool character. Yes, some of these people are cool characters. There's too much else happening. I did enjoy. I'm glad Michonne's back.
Yes, me too.
That was really cool, and she kind of gave us a timeline of the season so far. I don't know if you caught that when she was in the car with Rosita.
Yes, I did.
Because she's like still hurting, and Rosita's like, "Should you be out?" And she's like, "It's been a day and a half or whatever. I'm fine." So basically, since Rick attacked Negan, it's this whole season 8 or whatever has been a day and a half, which makes sense. That's a logical timeline. Is like Aaron talking with Maggie.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Not Aaron, Eric.
Yes. Wait,
When
no.
he was talking with Maggie, right?
No,
He
Aaron.
died.
It's Aaron. Eric died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Aaron was talking with Maggie, and he's like, I thought I was over him, and then I see him. Like, well, he just died like a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
So that one kind of confused me with the timeline. But I liked it. I mean, I didn't like it as much as the last 2 or 3. But it was still good. How about yourself?
I liked it. I'm looking at your notes right now. Absolutely the best kill ever was Rosita, when Rosita and Michonne were checking out that the cache.
A rocket launcher?
It was ridiculous. It was so over the top. Even with Walking Dead. It was ridiculous. The guy just disintegrated.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was so cool. He's like, you're not gonna shoot me with that.
Oh God, he's dead.
He has to be dead.
I liked that they didn't even bring it up afterwards. It's like she shoots him with the rocket launcher. The lady gets away in the big speaker car, and then Daryl comes out of nowhere, nails it with the truck, and then shoots the girl in the head. Like, presumably shoots her in the head with the gun in the car. That was a wild 2-minute scene. It was pretty crazy.
That was.
Yeah, I like that a lot. What'd you think about Carl and our new friend Sadiq?
I kind of like Sadiq.
Yeah, I kind of like Sadiq too.
Carl, I don't hate him as much as everyone else hates him.
Yeah.
He's kind of he kind of sucks, but I don't despise him.
Yeah.
He's just so stupid sometimes. He puts himself in the worst. He puts himself in the worst situations for his skill set.
Yes.
He doesn't have a particularly good skill set. And he's always out there on his own in the goddamn woods. What if Sadiq was pretty much anyone else left?
Yeah.
He killed him.
Yeah.
Luckily, Sadiq's a nice guy. I don't know. I like Sadiq. I like adding another he seems like a good level-headed guy, so that might be a good addition to the group.
Yep. Addition to a group that now is shooting people with rocket launchers. So.
Yep, and it just literally Daryl still is on this murder thirst. He needs to kill everyone as quickly as he can.
Yep.
Didn't particularly care for Rick and the trash people.
Nope.
I mean, did we have to bring them back?
We don't. We really don't. Just leave them out of this.
What? Also, what's with the nakedness? Why was that woman naked? Doing whatever she was doing.
The trash people defy all logic in this world.
They really do.
In a world where people are dying and coming back to life and eating other people, the trash people are the weirdest things happening on The Walking Dead.
You'd think of all times to focus on creating your own stupid language. That's not the time.
Not the time. We need to be able to talk to people instantly and get our point across. It's not a time to make a fake language that nobody cares about and to hang out in a trash pile. Listen, it's the zombie apocalypse. Had to have been better places for you guys to settle. Had to have been.
Yeah,
Why?
And now Rick's stuck in the tank or the container.
Yeah, and what was the deal? She wrote an A over the air hole or whatever.
I don't know. I'm actually because it's like the Scarlet Letter or something, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I don't really know anything about that though. I understand the reference. I just don't know the significance of it, I guess.
It's supposed to mean adulterer, but I don't think that's valid.
No, I don't think. I mean, although this is the trash people, who knows? It could mean anything.
Maybe that's why they hate him. They just have this thing about how he cheated on his wife. It's actually just a huge misunderstanding.
Yeah, it's really just gonna be. It's gonna be like the next episode. She's gonna write B right next to it, and it's gonna be it's gonna end up being the whole alphabet.
She's like, I'm sorry, I need to write the alphabet.
I needed to write the alphabet out. Yeah, of course, it makes total sense. What else? Oh, Jesus and Maggie. So, do you think they're making the right decision with the Saviors?
Well, I love Maggie. I do not understand why she's not featured more. Why she doesn't have I don't get it. She's one of the best and my favorite characters on the show. She's really her and Carol have gone through the most. If you think about it, Maggie's lost her father, her sister, Glenn, and she still turned out to she's still this great leader and someone who people want to follow. I don't like so seeing her. She's too important But I agree in a sense that I like keeping some of them alive for a bargaining chip because as far, how does she know that it's not going to come down to Negan, especially now what we know about Negan, he's really killing if it's right. He's not going to just murder everyone for no reason.
Yeah.
So if Negan just captures some of their crew and wants to make a trade and Maggie's already murdered everyone, that's not going to be good.
Yeah.
So I like that forward thinking, but some of these guys got to go. That guy with the long hair who keeps trying to grab the gun and so you got to kill him.
Yeah,
you got to kill him.
Yeah.
The stupidity and what the hell's the word I'm looking for? Stupidity and leniency, for forgiveness, those are not traits that should exist anymore. And I understand you may show this is too smart. This is a TV show for adults. This isn't a kids show. You can't have this guy literally keep trying to murder everyone who he already has murdered. He murdered the little kid who sits outside of Ezekiel's thing with the stick. He murdered that guy's brother.
Yeah.
And he's obviously going to murder as soon as he can again. I think keeping some of them alive is a good move, but you can't, I don't know. Even from a food standpoint, Ezekiel's finding, Jesus is finding turnip in the basement or something to give them, but it's that's not a good look for the people there.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think there's going to be a bigger implication for those people. I'm assuming they get out. I'm assuming they break free at some point and try and take over the hilltop or something. You know what I mean? There's got to be something more to just they're going to be a bargaining chip. You know what I mean? Because things right now are going a little bit too well for Rick and the crew. You know what I mean? I guess to a point. I know that the kingdom lost a lot of people and whatnot, but for the most part, I guess plans going according, the plans are going according to what Rick has in mind.
Hmm.
So the other shoe is going to drop, and it's going to include those people that they should have probably killed or gotten rid of. They're going to, I don't know. I'm unsure. I'm very sure that I like Maggie as a character in this world, and she's probably one of the best in the show right now. Her and Jesus, honestly, and most stable, I guess, too. But yeah, I don't know. The deal. So Rick and Daryl, right? So Daryl is going a little bit off the deep end. Rick is just, I guess, he's really stuck to the plan. What did he get out of the microwave on the road?
When was that? Was that this episode or?
Yeah, this episode. On his way to the trash people, what did he grab out of that microwave? Right, that was this episode, right?
Maybe I missed that. I don't know.
He's walking right before he gets to the trash people. He's walking to the trash people, and he grabs. It wouldn't be the photos, right? Because he would have those photos on hand because he took them. So
yeah, I'm not
sure.
sure.
He grabbed something out of the microwave. There was a microwave and a wheelbarrow on the side of the road, and he opened it up and grabbed something out of it. I don't know. So I thought maybe you had caught that and maybe knew something I didn't.
No, I didn't catch that. And then they also didn't mention the helicopter.
Yes, that's right. Which last week I was saying it would be weird if, not weird, but it would be kind of cool if they just ignored it and then maybe revisited it end of the season or maybe even next season. They just stopped talking about it.
Because Rick did kind of look at it, not really with the, like we said, not really a surprising look.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was funny that Carol was chasing that kid in the woods. It's oh, and she gave him the speech. She's you know what happens to kids out here? It's yeah, you murder them. That's what happens to kids out here.
Yeah, you, Carol, kill them. That's what happens to kids in the woods. I think Ezekiel needs to, sack up and get back out there.
There's not a lot of time for pity parties here.
No, definitely not. And I couldn't tell because he wasn't being talking his normal self. But did he lose the kingly accent?
Seems like it, yeah.
Right, he was just a normal guy.
Because he definitely would use that accent as part of his act.
Yes,
it was so over the top, and it was so ridiculous. So if he goes back to just being a normal guy, but I mean, the only thing is he could go back to being a normal guy because everybody's dead. I mean, all the all his followers besides what's the Axeman? Jerry.
Jerry, yeah.
Besides Jerry's dead, so it's not like people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, like the king." It's like, well, they're all gone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And like Rick doesn't care if he's a king.
Yeah.
And he lost Shiva.
Yes.
It still hurts.
Poor Shiva. I know it does its things. Are you sad that we didn't see Negan this episode?
I am. That's like. I know there's so many characters and there's a lot of stuff. I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, 2 weeks ago was like that's the episode you needed to have with him, and then no follow up at all.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that they're not highlighting him. They need to be better about highlighting every character in an episode. With an hour-long episode, an hour-long network TV show, there's no reason why you can't do that. Shameless is pay, so it's like I guess it's an actual hour. But we talked about this before. Shameless does it so well, where they go to all different character storylines, and it's it's a different story or whatnot. But Walking Dead could do it. They need to figure that out.
And they're like in Shameless, shows like Shameless, they're not long scenes with all the characters. Like they can kind of do the thing, and I don't know. I was kind of upset we didn't get a little bit, especially like how it ended with Father Gabriel.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to get that next week, maybe?
I guess.
There's only 2 left.
Yeah. You have to. I mean, you have to put Negan in these last 2.
Yeah.
Have to.
Because, again, like they're doing very little to separate, like why, and maybe they don't care, but they're doing very little to separate, like why, if I'm watching this, why am I rooting for Rick over Negan? Really?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Before, because when you first meet Negan, you hate him because he kills Glenn, he kills Abraham. So you hate him, and you want him dead. Right now, it's kind of stale, honestly. The feud's kind of stale. And Negan makes a lot of good points for, why his way of life has merits to it, and Rick's also does. So it's like, the line is graying. It's getting blurred. I suppose is the right anecdote there. But or whatever it is,
I'm sorry, man.
The line is graying.
It's so old.
Yeah, but I don't know. You need Negan in these last 2. You need Negan in these last 2.
And then, I know you have the news of Morgan moving on to Fear the Walking Dead.
Yes, very interesting news.
Which is interesting news. Now, we didn't talk about that in the last podcast, right?
No, you had texted me about it. So can you explain? Because I'm not a Fear the Walking Dead viewer.
Yeah. So at the beginning, I think it was the beginning or the middle of So Fear the Walking Dead starts in June or July. Like it premieres over the summer, and it ends the week before Walking Dead begins. So it's really cool. So if you watch both, they kind of lead into each other. However, Fear the Walking Dead is probably timeline-wise in season 3 or 4 of The Walking Dead.
Okay.
So the Walking Dead people are way ahead. But they've been saying they wanted to have a crossover character. And a lot of people thought it was going to be Abraham because he died off The Walking Dead. They said they were going to be the main villain in Fear is going to take everyone to Houston this year.
Yeah.
That's how the season ended. And that's where Abraham's backstory is, in Houston. They ended up picking Morgan, which I don't mind it. But the only thing with him is it depends on which Morgan you get. We talked about this a little bit over text. So if he's going to be Morgan, after his son dies, where he was clearing everything and Rick found him that one episode.
Yeah, a
I'm all right with that. Which it has to be, because we already had a Morgan-only episode last year, right? Or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When he was making cheese and learning how to swing his stick and everything.
Yes.
So, this makes no sense to go back to that Morgan.
Yeah, no, you can't.
So, I guess seeing him in that, Crazy Morgan would be kind of cool. But they want to do a crossover character to kind of blend the 2 shows together.
Yeah.
And Fear the Walking Dead for me is I like it. I like current Fear better than current Walking Dead.
Okay.
And they've added a lot of good characters. Did you ever watch Lost?
No.
I'm trying to think what else she's in. Her name's Maggie. Oh, the girl in Taken, the woman who gets taken, the daughter.
Oh yes, yeah.
She's joining the cast this year. Maggie Grace, and a couple other people are joining too. But the
cool.
cast is just dynamite. Like, it's so good. Only there's one, like, the main woman kind of sucks. She's not. She's like a Carl.
Okay.
But it's cool. But yeah, I like it. I'm kind of excited for Morgan to join. So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. But at the same time, like, what's that mean for Morgan on The Walking Dead?
Yes, very true.
'Cause they started filming Fear, and like, people were upset, like, how could you, like, why would you say it ahead of time, blah blah blah. It's like, do you really think a photo wasn't going to leak of him on the set of Fear the Walking Dead?
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
they either got it out the way they wanted to, or it got leaked on the internet. So you obviously have to go out and say it. Like, it's just, that's the world we live in.
And I guess it doesn't really have any. I mean, realistically, it doesn't have any implications for him on Walking Dead. I mean, you kind of think that maybe he'll be phased out one way or another, but it doesn't really have to. I don't know. I feel like they could make that work if they wanted to have him on both shows.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just like, if maybe he dies on Walking Dead.
Yeah.
How that, if people would be more inclined to tune in and see the parts of the story they didn't know on Fear now that he's gone. I don't know.
See, I feel like if that is the reasoning they're doing that, I don't know if that would be motivation enough to want me to click over to the Fear the Walking Dead Morgan story.
That's why, like, I would have liked to see, like, I don't know. I just feel like we've seen a lot of Morgan.
Yeah.
We've seen him in various phases of his life.
Abraham would have been great because Abraham just got his head bashed in, and it's like we miss Abraham.
And we met him further along than most of the other people.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Even like a Michonne one would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I don't know. But I guess we're getting Morgan for now.
Hey, maybe you won't be the only one.
Yeah, maybe. Could be. They could have a surprise. Who knows?
Could be me.
Could be Ryan. The surprise, Ryan. Oh, who's this guy?
Who's this guy? I don't know. All the ratings are bad. They're tanking. Nobody cares.
All right.
Got 2 more weeks of The Walking Dead, and I know we've been saying we're going to try to get to Mr. Robot, so maybe we could switch over to that one. But we still got 2 more weeks. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Let's revisit that next week because I think so. So this Sunday will be, and then the Sunday after will be the 11th. So we'll be able to finish Walking Dead, but then I'm actually going on vacation over Christmas for a week. So we might have to put the podcast on hold, but maybe what we'll do is we'll wrap up that week. The week after the last episode of Walking Dead is the week before I'm going on vacation. So maybe we'll wrap up Walking Dead, right? We'll take a week off from the podcast, as much as it pains me, and then we will come back strong the following week, and we'll have watched Mr. Robot.
Excellent. And then we'll be very close to Oscar season as well.
Yes, sir. Fucking the best time of the year. And the best time of the year to be an Average Nobody's fan because we're going to put out a lot of content for it. You will expect our Oscar ballot as usual, so you can follow along at home.
Not going to be able to nominate anyone. They're all going to be sexual predators by then.
Exactly. That's true. And maybe it's going to be, hey, maybe we'll be there. Maybe we'll be hosting the Oscars.
I'll tell you what, I have a lot of confidence in us as hosts. We got a good rat-tat-tat back and forth.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day. We got to just pray that more sexual predators get taken down. And then they'll be like, you know what? We have no other choice but to call Ryan.
We literally have no other choice. Yep. Yeah.
They have like this giant list of people, and way at the bottom, it's like, oh, Ryan Fogarty, Matt Vieira. What do we got to lose? Let's give him a call. All right. Well, that's the Average Nobody's podcast for November 30th, 2017. Again, if you want to check us out on any social media platform, just at Average Nobody's or just search Average Nobody's on Google, the Google machine, and you can find our website, averagenobodies.com. That is, there's links to everything we do, including our written word blog. And call into the show, 401-285-8120. Leave us a voicemail, and we'll play it on the show. If you want to talk about Walking Dead, if you want to nominate someone for our sexual predator pool, you can also do that.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, and if you have any people versus the internet stories, I really want to start farming those out. So I'm going to start posting on Twitter a lot more, see if we can get people to submit people versus the internet stories, because I've got a lot of good feedback.
I like that one a lot, and I have to imagine there's a lot out there. So
there's people being taken down by the internet daily on the minute, every minute on the minute.
The internet always wins.
Always wins. Ryan, always a pleasure.
Matt, enjoy the rest of your week.
You as well.
Thank you.
All right, and thanks everybody for listening. We'll talk to you next week.